Our Christian faith teaches that after death comes judgment, but my father, a devoted pastor in his lifetime, once shared a story that left him puzzled until his last days on earth. It happened when he was 15, back in the 1960s. His older brother, a young teacher, was posted to a remote village in Anambra State called Ajari. This village, seemingly ordinary, became the setting of a mystery that challenged their understanding of life, death, and the spiritual realm. The villagers, eager to have their children educated, provided my father's brother with a house. On the first night, however, something unexplainable happened. As the clock struck midnight, the radio they had been listening to suddenly switched off. The roof, made of zinc, began to vibrate as though a heavy rain of sand was falling on it, producing a deafening noise. The windows flew open one by one, followed by the doors, the front door and the living room door, and then the door to their bedroom. Though invisible, they felt an undeniable presence in the room. My father said this presence moved to the living room and stood near a table where a picture frame sat. Then chaos ensued. A large cupboard filled with books was thrown open, its contents scattered across the room. Plates from the kitchen were dragged out and emptied on the floor. This continued for 5 nights. On the 6th day, my father's older brother confided in a fellow teacher who advised him to sharpen a machete and attempt to strike the present if it returned. Desperate, he took the advice. That night at midnight, the present returned, and the same chaos unfolded. This time, as it moved towards the cupboard, my father's elder brother struck with the machete. Shockingly, there was a loud thud on the floor, and the present retreated. What followed was even more baffling. As the presence fled, it appeared to take the form of a dog, which ran out of the house towards a grave located in their compound. My father's brother pursued it and struck the dog with the machete. The creature vanished. Though they were still shaken, they finally had a peaceful night's rest. The next morning, they approached the village chief to report the strange events. The chief listened quietly and then reviewed a disturbing story. The house they were living in belonged to a family whose matriarch, Celestina, had died a bitter death. Accused of witchcraft by her own children, she was abandoned and she cast them from her deathbed, vowing to hunt anyone who lived in the house. Her children, unable to bear the huntings, fled the village, leaving the house to decay. The chief summoned an elderly medicine man who advised them to report the incident to Celestina's only surviving elder brother. The man, a respected figure in the community, arrived the following day. Without any elaborate rituals, he went straight to Celestina's grave and addressed her spirit. He said, "Celestina," he called out firmly, "why are you troubling strangers who came to help the villagers? If your children had abandoned you, go to the city and hunt them there. Leave these people alone." He then commanded her spirit to return to rest, warning her never to rise again. If she dares rises again, he will direct them to chain her for life. After his words, the strange occurrences ceased. My father and his brother stayed in the village for 3 more years without further disturbances. This story left my father grappling with questions of faith, spirituality, and the existence of ghosts. As Christians, the Bible teaches us that there are no ghosts and no such thing as reincarnation. The question now is, do they truly exist? If the entity was some kind of spirit or ghost and not Celestina herself, how did it recognize the old man's voice and obeyed him? The mystery of Ajari village remains a question for the ages, one that challenges the boundaries of belief and understanding into the spiritual realm. This story is authored by Gabriel